Hello, let's talk about the cauldron. So, the cauldron as a magical tool is a container, and it goes back a very, very long way in magical and culinary history, because prior to the invention of the oven, particularly the coal-fired oven, people would cook in a big iron cooking pot over their open fireplace, and pretty much everything was cooked that way unless you were roasting something on a spit. So that is why it's not that difficult to come by, or for many years it was not that difficult to come by a second-hand cauldron, because they were big heavy things that tended to get passed around, passed down in families. And I was lucky enough to get a big cooking pot style cauldron for not that much money in an antique shop, about 25 years ago now, probably more. And my dad kindly carried it back to the car for me because it was heavy. So yeah, so I've got this big classic cauldron. And the interesting thing about the cauldron is that it's a container for boiling things in. So obviously you can use it to make potions if you want, but typically people use it as a container for energy. So you could put your herbs in it that you want to bless and imbue with energy. You can focus your intention by focusing all your attention into the cauldron and using it to intensify the goal of your magic. So the cauldron is a really powerful, because it's made of iron, so it's like not a lot gets through iron in a magical context, so it becomes a really great container for energy. It's also associated with the Grail legends because it's associated with the goddess Cauldron, who is a Celtic goddess of magic and mystery. And she's sometimes manifested as the Great Sow, and she had a magical cauldron in which she brewed the elixir of knowledge, of which was famously prematurely tasted by Gwydion, although she was brewing it for her son Evagni. And so the cauldron is a symbol of knowledge and wisdom and creativity, really, because you're using it to create new energies and new things. So it can also be seen as the great cosmic cauldron, of like space and the birthing of stars. So it really is a symbol of the goddess as the creatrix and the birther of the universe. So it's an incredibly powerful symbol. It's a very feminine symbol, and it is very, very witchy because I guess, when you see an image of a witch, you either see a cauldron, you either see somebody dropping herbs into a cauldron, or you see a broom, right, or a pointy hat. So the cauldron is one of those quintessentially witchy things, and they are very splendid things, and every witch should own one, possibly more than one in different sizes, because they're great, and they are also a very useful magical tool. So get creative with your cauldrons, folks. Even if you've only got a tiny cauldron, you can still use it as like a crucible of energy. So have fun with that, and blessed be.